moves the world. Freight builds civilizations and improves all our lives. Freight moves the world and trucks move the freight. When necessary supplies do not arrive on time, everything grinds to a halt. Trucks move the freight, and freight brokers help make sure the right truck gets to the right shipper to load the right freight and deliver it to the right destination at the right time. The broker fills one of the most important jobs in the transportation industry. Right now, because of the COVID panic, we are facing a critical shortage of trained brokers. You can help fill that void. For more information, call Amber or Amanda at 833-373-7475. Roll, trucks, roll.
And we are live with Stephanie and Susie with SBS Truck Specialist LLC. Welcome, Stephanie and Susie.
Thank you.
And we have Kayla and Dara live here from the Fresh Start Studios, Fresh Start Freight, Freight Agent Training Program. We have licensed, bonded, insured freight broker agency and carrier authority. So we kind of have a little bit of a beginning and an end, kind of a big program of freight ready to go. We talk about all things freight, and we're live with our podcast going on. We had Susie and Steph on for a little bit, a week or so ago, but we had technical difficulties, so we're back. So what I want to work on today a little bit, kind of get it out there in case anybody out there is interested, is when you're working on or you're entering into the freight world, you really have a lot of things to look at as far as opportunities from home programs go. And it starts with the freight broker agent training. So with the freight broker agent training, you can come on board for very little investment and you can learn how to be an agent with an existing broker. Now, when you're an agent with an existing broker, you have almost zero liability. So you have a broker that's got their insurance, their bond, their motor carrier number, their authority, everything in place, and you work with them as an agent under that umbrella corp, and you're able to make commission loads on movement of loads as far as that goes that they're set up to move. So you have freight to move, you have load boards to populate, you have trucks to talk to. So the three things that bring a freight broker agency together, one is the ability to recruit new shippers or customers that have freight to move. The second is type up the loads that you do receive and put them on the load board, Internet Truck Stop load board, or whatever flavor that you're using at the time. And finally, the carriers call and you book that freight, that load to pick up into the delivery, and you make the commission on the freight load. So those are sort of the elements. So when a person comes on and they want to learn how to be a freight agent, from the very beginning, we sort of do a little bit of an evaluation of where they're at and what they know about the industry, that sort of thing, and we take them through the first few steps of evaluation. Find out if they've been a carrier before. Maybe they've got a loved one or a family member that drives a truck, so they're familiar with the trucking industry. Or if they've been an agent for a brokerage in the past, but now they want to actually transition into making their own business, building their own empire, and in that case, they'd be getting their authority and their documents and their bond and the things that will allow them to be a bona fide broker. So breaking it into two segments today, we want to start with what does it take, for example, to go from an agent under a brokerage or from ground zero. Then we will train you to be an agent, and then you decide to break off and get your own brokerage. Let Susie and Stephanie talk for a few minutes about the process that you go through to go that next step to actually own your own brokerage and become the owner of the business as far as that goes. So, Susie, I'll let you take it over from there. I'll just click my little microphone, and then you can tell us about that next step.
Okay. For people interested in getting their own motor carrier authority or their broker authority or both, it's really simple. They would just get their entity incorporated through the Secretary of State, through whatever state they live in, get the EIN number that would go with that entity, and then what they would be hauling, if they're getting a motor carrier. And we would just do all the applications and forms that they need done to get that authority going. It is a 21 to 25 business day hold on all new authorities, if it's broker or the motor carrier. And we do everything except put the insurance on file for the authority. And it's just simple, and we get everything done for you and we just wait for the FMCSA to make it active.
That sounds pretty awesome. So, as far as the broker bond goes, I know they moved it from 10,000 to 75,000 a few years back. Is that
Yes.
something they'd have to do in addition to signing up with you to have you do it, or do you help them with that as well?
We do have some insurance agents which are local to us in Arkansas that are very familiar with the broker bonds, that we could set them up with those agents and they could set the bond up with that. But we are not bonded insurance agents, so therefore it's illegal for us to do anything with insurance.
Okay, that makes sense. So, Derek, you and Kayla have anything to put in as far as someone going from an agent and they decide they've been making some money, they enjoy the work, they kind of like the whole concept, but now they want to. So many times we talk to so many people that think they want to go ahead and be a broker and take over all those responsibilities to save that extra money. Tell us a little bit about what that means as far as our program. How much money would they be saving? And what do you think the pros and cons are? And I'll just let each of you take a minute to kind of outline what you think. Since you've been in it for a while, you know what's going on. So how do you see the market out there as far as agents versus brokers, whether to make that transition or not?
I think being an agent is probably the better benefit because there's less of a headache that you have to deal with. But I mean, if they want to go for the brokerage, go big or go home.
Okay, Kayla, you got any opinions one side or the other?
I don't really have any. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can't hear me, can y'all?
Yeah, we can.
Oh. I don't really have any opinions on one or the other because I've never done it myself. But from what I've seen, the agents get the less hassle because they don't have to have all the processing and the insurance and everything that the broker would have to have.
That makes perfect sense, and I'm of both mentalities. I mean, I've been an agent for a lot longer than I've been a broker. I've been an agent for 20 plus years for one of the big brokerage companies or a medium company or starting off with a smaller, and I loved it. I love being able to turn on the computer and trade whenever I want to and move freight and make money. But if I wanted to be off the grid, I could just send one email and say I'm going to be out of town for a week or so, and let some of the other agents make a little more money and not have to worry about insurance coming due, bond payment coming due, or trucks that my brokerage may be over, but I didn't have anything to do with on an agent level. Picking up or delivering, or not picking up or delivering, or breakdown situations. I mean, you literally have zero hassle as an agent that you have when you own the brokerage. It's kind of like that old catch-22 of, and you don't really know how bad the boss you have is until you own your own company. and then you're it. The buck stops with you. So I have a little series that we run through when we give someone an idea of what we have to offer. A set of paperwork that we start at the beginning, and we show them you can start here, and then we hand you so many customers to get started, and we get you signed up for the Internet Truck Stop Load Board, and then you can post loads, and then the calls come in, and you can book those loads to make the commission. And our program is relatively unique. We let them make 100% of the commission on the loads they move until they get their return on investment back. So if they purchase one of our middle range packages, they get that money back in their pocket before, quicker than average. Then we even have it set up that we have one broker agent split, and ours is 90-10. So they get to keep 90% of the profit, and then we end up with 10% as a broker. So it's one of the better packages I think that are out there. And to be honest, if you've only got 90% of you're going to retrieve 90% of the profit, and you're only actually out that 10%, I can't imagine wanting to put up with the hassle of owning your own brokerage for that 10%. Not just the industry is just, it's as such. I think it's bending toward agent oriented, which every day we see more and more dispatchers coming on, and that's why for that is because there's less hassle for nearly the same money. So, any comments one way or another on that, Susie, Steph, as far as what you've seen from the outside?
We always, it's good. So if you have a new guy come on board with you as an owner op, they lease on under your authority, they could get out there and get a feel, of the loads, and maybe work with you a year or two, get that experience. And then maybe that's something you could help them with, get their authority, and then kind of start from there. And then the same thing on the broker side. You can bring them in as an agent and then let them get a feel for it. And then maybe eventually they'll want to make that next step and become their own broker.
That's sort of the model that we present. We try to present a get your feet wet, take your time, go slow, see if it's for you, see if it's a good fit before you jump out in there and get all of the licensing and bonding and insurance that it takes to be a broker, because you are experiencing everything but the responsibility. Exactly. You get the lion's share of the income. You get all the dispatcher training. You get all the conversations with shippers, carriers. It's all there. There's nothing missing except the certification. So that's the way we present it. We try to let you. Our first program is basically a 90-day program, and that's what it's centered around. And then you can step from that one into our broker builder program, which is just an enhanced, larger program that actually is designed to steer you toward, if you're going to be a broker, and to go ahead and take that step toward carrier onboarding. And that's where you guys come on, because that's the truly amazing thing, is to get an owner operator to onboard to your carrier authority.
Yes.
To get a carrier authority, which is the carrier side, the truck side, where the broker side is the movement and the shipper side. The carrier side authority, they are so much more flexible in what they can do. If they've got a flatbed vehicle, they're able to go onto the flatbed load boards, find a load that fits their criteria, call for it, pick it up the same day, deliver it, and get paid. So, yes. If they've got a driver and they're mechanically sound, then they can make money, within days of when they pick up the load.
If they lease on with you, owner op, if they're not ready for that motor carrier responsibility right away, they could lease on with you. And like I said last week, they could be on, have plates in 2 days running with you and getting loads. and then get the feel of it, and then eventually work with you to get that motor carrier side going.
Exactly. And that's what I really like about they onboard with us and we get the tags and we get them on the road and rolling. Then that's the agent version of the carrier authority. They don't have any responsibilities. They're just able to take the lion's share of the money. And we get a little small stipend of the money for providing them with freight and dispatching them and making sure that when they get where they're going, they've got a load to come back and all those goodies. So that's pretty awesome. So that breaks us into about 6 different categories. We have 3 main categories. With the 3 main categories are shipper, supplier, wholesaler, and middle person, which is broker, agent, dispatcher, and then finally carrier, which will be carrier, leased on carrier, owner operator, and then finally, I think the 3rd category you had on that sheet was maybe previously tagged, currently tagged. What were the categories again? There's 3 kinds.
It was
new purchase.
New purchase.
So that would be what we're going to try to search for and locate next is where we can finance trucks relatively simply, so someone could come on and maybe apply for financing, receive financing, get a relatively new truck and trailer combo, and then we could help them finance it and take it out of their loads as they go. So they could then slowly work their way into ownership.
Right.
So that's our next big hill. That's our next big research project. How do we do that? How do we do it? How do we do it? What's your phrase? Quickly, easily. Thank you. So that's what Susie and Steph are experts at getting them quickly and easily. And I was very impressed when I went to get mine. I spent about 2 weeks calling, and no one had anything encouraging to say. They're like, this is going to be a hassle. This is going to be days of back and forth to the DMV, and it's just horrible hassle. And I got a referral from a friend who said, call these ladies right here and they will fix you up. And I was so excited. So go ahead and walk them through the process of what it takes to get your IFTA, get your tags, get your IRP, because that is something you guys really specialize in, and it's just tremendously. It was zero effort on my part. I think I sent 2 or 3 pieces of paper for authority and maybe an authorization attorney. Limited attorney, and that was it. The rest of it was gravy.
Yep. We have, if you want to get your own, like if they want to lease on with you, there's several different options. So each driver is going to have a different scenario. So you can have a guy that's going to come on board with you and run under your IRP and your authority. Well, then we have a list of documents that we would need on that end. And then if they wanted their own IRP, again, we have a list of documents that you would provide us, and we would get everything together for the IRP side. And once we get that account established, then we could get your IFTA stickers to go with it if you had your own authority. Now, if they want their own IRP and still lease onto your authority, they can do that as well.
That's just awesome. So really, there's a turnkey option for almost any level of participation. Yes. So I'm reaching out right now to pretty much all the United States, every little state. I'd like to have trucks in every state. So I'm reaching out through Facebook advertising, a few things. I'm trying to find some owner operators that want to lease onto my authority and let us get the tags, let Susie and Stephanie take over the paperwork so that they can run for us, because we have this amazing, tremendous amount of freight. So we can put it on there. We can find them something to go to that they want to run, take care of the paperwork and get them running and get them paid right away. As soon as they get home, they can get paid within 24 hours. In some cases, paid as soon as they drop or deliver. And it's really looking good. So, but it takes all 3 kinds of folks, Susie and Steph. To me, that was the most difficult thing of owning a truck, period, was not knowing what that next step was, where to go, who to talk to. Because I looked on the internet and I found everything from $5,000 to $10,000 was the next step, and that just set me back. And then when I found you ladies, it was such a breeze, and it was so quick, and it was not even 10% of that. So It was amazing. And then you were done, and the plate was in the mail within a couple of days. And we started running. We've run about so we've not been down any except the little bits of repair work here and there. Since we've been making money with that truck every day. So anybody out there that wants to start the journey, we recommend they buy the whole enchilada. So you start and you learn freight dispatching, freight agency. You get your feet wet a little bit with that. You start looking at some different things, which kind of trucks and things are available out there. Maybe your niche, develop your niche, flatbed freight, van freight, whether it's going to be refrigerated freight. Then you move on from that, and then you start looking at possibly getting, right away, I would go straight to getting a vehicle, get a truck, get a semi and a trailer, and lease it on to us would be the next quickest, least expensive way to make the big money. Because when you got freight and you're making money from freight, you're making money from the truck rolling. And then you're making money, there's 3 types of money you're making. Dispatching, agency, we're helping you pass it on to your truck, and then trucking. And you can skip the entire broker process that way. There's no waiting or anything because you're coming right through us. We're going to dispatch you. We're going to send your freight. You've got your plates. You've got your IFTA, got your IRPs and your ECRs, right? Through us.
Yes.
So, boom, you're on the road. You're making money. So you're making money. First off, you're understanding that you're making some good money by doing the agency dispatching, and then you decide you want to make more money. Then you go ahead and figure out how you can either lease on, or you have an owner-operator situation where you may be able to get financing for a truck and then roll into our authority and have you on the road in days, right?
Right.
That'll be the magic. That's what we're looking for.
If you have those guys that already own their truck and trailer, or just their truck, and they are ready to lease onto you, they could be rolling in 5 minutes with a temp registration through IRP and plates in 2 days.
And that is what we'll be looking at next. We'll be talking about that. Fantastic. We got Tim Ringer did a comment for us today on Facebook. He said, great info for anyone taking the leap. Tim Ringer has been with me several years. If you get a chance, anybody out there in listening land, look Tim Ringer up. He's got his own freight broker agency. He's got supplies for brokers and agents. He got all kinds of cool stuff. He helps me all the time with maps and ideas. He even has some, I believe he's got freight lists that are available. Anything for the freight agent, broker, carrier combination. Tim's a good guy. I just noticed he had commented, so looks like we're broadcasting out there. That's a good thing. So anybody out there that's in, because you never know how our technical side's going to go, but anybody out there that's interested in learning more, love to talk to you more about it. We do Monday through Friday, we do group training. We do individualized, personalized training, one-on-one. We do all sorts of video, PowerPoint, audio books. All of our materials, training materials, are on Amazon. If you want to take a look at a few of them, you're welcome to email. Either you can actually get a hold of Kayla or Dara at these numbers right here, and they can get you an email with videos to take a look at, some preliminary materials to look at, get you started, even get you to a free Zoom class that would be a lot like you were learning. And it takes very little time to get enough training to move loads and make money from home on your laptop and cell phone in the freight world. And again, that's the beginning, getting your toes wet, and then we hope to move you up after that. Like Susie and Steph were saying, you learn your agency, you learn to move freight, you learn a little bit about it, then you get a little more hungry, want to bring home a little more of the bacon, then you go ahead and figure out what kind of truck you want to get. And we've got plenty of freight on all flavors to put on the truck. That's what makes us unique, is if you decide you really like refrigerated freight and we get you a refrigerated truck, you'll never be without freight because we got tons of it. So you can shop at home. Basically, you can shop at home. It's like you own a shopping market. You got a supermarket full of products. So if instead it's van or it's flatbed, you decide that you want to be home Monday through Friday, you want to be home every night, and we'll get you short runs. If you want to be home on the weekend, and we get you runs that are a little further down the road and make a little more money, but still come home on the weekend. And since we decide all of that with you, we will customize your work. Where else can you customize your work schedule and your money at the same time? You say you want to make $2,500, $5,000 a week. Well, then we just find enough loads to hook you up with. We'll make sure that happens and get you home. And we can do it all right, in-house. Something to think about. So, did anybody have any other comments? We'll go ahead and jump off, and that'll be a good, solid training session for this week. And then we're hoping to do another one next Friday. We'll have Susie and Steph on again for just maybe 15 minutes and maybe 45 minutes of another special guest. We're going to try to have 2 special guests on kind of, an hour's a lot, like you mentioned, hour's a lot of time to fill with just one subject. But the 2 subjects we always want to cover is ours, which is freight agent training, brokering, the freight, and then the carrier side, which is your side, which is how you move the freight, how you get started to do that side. And then maybe we'll get some material handling, load board specialist, and maybe anybody in the insurance game, anything to do with trucking on for that other 15 minutes here or other 15 minutes there. So, and again, the public, we're looking for public. Anybody that has, we got a man named Rob. Not sure how to pronounce your last name, Rob, but we got a man named Rob on here that says he's interested. I'm going to go ahead. Rob, we've got Dara and Kayla's number scrolling at the bottom of the page, but I am going to pop it on in here in the chat box for you as well. Give one of those ladies a call, and they will get right to you. There it is. 2 of us did at the same time, I think. So, everybody's giving you the phone number. So anyway, there we go. So I appreciate you ladies for coming on with us today. We had a great time. One more time. This one went just about glitch free, so that's good. Good.
Yes.
No internet failures, too bad. No too many phones going off. That's great. Well, Susie and Stephanie, 501-812-3292. They're with SBS Truck, and they can get you onboarded. There's just a ton of knowledge that they have. And if you're interested in becoming an owner-operator, if you're listening to, the quickest, fastest, easiest way is to sign on with our authority. And, of course, we take care of all of that. We put you on the road. We put freight on you that you want to haul. And we get you home when you want to be home. Basically, we'd welcome you to the family and give you a job and bring you home in time for Sunday dinner. That's our goal, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and play our closing video real quick. We always have a little closing video to show folks, and then behind the scenes we'll get ready to move on to the next program. And remember that as far as the number for Kayla and Dara, if you have any other questions, they can always answer them Monday through Friday about the freight world in general. And again, Stephanie and Susie on the carrier side, 501-812-3292. Super, super awesome ladies, very knowledgeable in the field, and always ready to help someone get that next level of learning. Appreciate you ladies, and we'll talk to you next time.
Okay.